Hello everyone. I'll just give it a few seconds if anyone's wanting to join, but really sorry I'm late by a few minutes. We just couldn't work out how to get a different angle to film, because the stand that I use to film my TikToks is also the one that I use to film for YouTube Live. So we were just trying to find out which stand was going to work, and the one we thought would work didn't work. So blah blah blah. Basically, my boyfriend's holding the camera. So if it moves around a little bit, then just bear with us. But other than that, hopefully this will be quite a fun and a different video to show you exactly how I film all of my TikToks. So I'll also be creating a weekly spread as well, because that's what I'll be filming for the TikTok video. But yeah, just thought it might be interesting for anyone. Obviously, it's live right now, but it'll be saved as a video on my channel. So let's just get started, shall we? I've got all of the pens and stuff I'm going to need to the side here, which is always something good to do so that when you're filming you can just get into a bit of a flow. You don't need to stop and pick out the pens that you need. I'm still in April. This is for week 5 of April, so from the 25th, and it will go to Sunday the 1st of May. And then the rest of May will obviously be in my May theme. I already have it sketched out, but it's very, very light, so you might not be able to see it very well, but that's kind of the intention. So that when I'm filming the TikTok, you just sort of see the pen where it goes onto the page as opposed to all the pencil marks. So I have my phone ready, which is what I always film with. Obviously it's a TikTok, so it's going to be in portrait mode. And a lot of people, I think, film their TikToks in the TikTok app. Whereas I film it in my camera roll because the TikTok app is so glitchy. So half the time I do actually edit not on TikTok, but I prefer to edit on TikTok so that I can do sound sync, which means that it syncs the videos to go with, you know, beats in the music and stuff like that, which is a lot nicer, I think. But it's been very glitchy and stuff since the recent update, so I film on my camera roll. So I'm going to put it into my holder. Would also help if we were in video mode as opposed to photo. And this holder is just, it was a really cheap one, I think maybe £15 or something, £20 off Amazon. It's called a rubber neck phone holder. If you search overhead phone holder on Amazon, you should get something like this. The fact that it's a rubber neck means that it's quite sturdy, but you can move it around like this, which is perfect for what I do for all of my TikTok filming. So we are ready to do the first shot. I do lots and lots of different small clips, and hopefully you'll see exactly what I mean. So I always start by having my book closed, typically at an angle, so that when I open it you can see most of the page. And I need to get it into the right sort of angle. So you see the front cover of the journal, and the first shot is always me flipping open to the page I'm going to be working on. This is just because it grabs the attention when you first start your TikTok. People know exactly what it's going to be about. It's a journal or a notebook sort of thing, and it flips open. Sometimes it doesn't always autofocus very well, so you can, if you hold down on your camera, then you can like stabilize the focus and the brightness and stuff. So first shot, I also just need to check, because I like to do it, the first shot will be opening and the next one will be something, drawing out something in this same angle, so it doesn't change automatically. So yeah, first video, and again it doesn't matter how long I'm recording for because I can edit it all and crop it down. So that'll be the first one, and it's a little bit tedious, but hopefully you'll enjoy watching something a little bit different. So as soon as I've then opened it, I add, notice I'm no longer filming. I'll try and mention when I'm pressing play and when I'm not, so that you can tell if you can't see the phone recording or not. I always add my little page clips, which are 100% a Bujo essential for me. And then I decide which bit is going to be my very first thing that I'm going to draw. So I'm going to grab my 0.1 fine liner, and I think the first thing that I'm going to draw is going to be this little chick here, which you probably can't see because it's really like tiny and penciled in, but realistically you're not meant to see it, so just watch it come to life in the pen. And then I'm going to press play again and get my first bit of pen work for the TikTok. So I will probably draw for longer and film for longer than would ever end up in the TikTok. So for example, in the TikTok, each clip is probably going to be around about, well, between 0.1 and 1 second. So that's like hardly anything, considering this has already been filming for 30 seconds now. So you really do only see a tiny portion of each little bit of artwork. And that is the whole point of it. So it comes together really rapidly and quickly. So now we've got our little chick. I'm gonna rearrange to a different part. I've moved my camera down. I'm going to focus it and hold down on the camera to lock in the focus and the brightness. Pressing play on the record again. Ignore the shaky hands, I just had a coffee and then got stressed out about the camera not working, so got a little bit of a shake today. So now I'm just doing the little water droplets that's coming off our little duckling. And now we're going to move to the next part. So hopefully you can sort of see how this is going to come together. Because it's a live, I'm not going to be able to insert videos, but I will, at the very end, I'll edit all of this after the live and then add it as the video at the end of the live, if that makes sense. So the next bit that we're going to film is going to be my April title. A little hack I've kind of gone back to recently is to film the entire thing and then only include a short section, and then if I want to, I can have a whole separate video that's just like nice lettering, which people seem to enjoy watching. So let me just double check. I always check that my hand's not going to be in the way because these angles are a little bit tricky to get sometimes. So I can also then twist my book. There we go, that looks about right. So I'm going to refocus, tap it in, and we're ready for our next one. Not the easiest with a shaky hand, but hopefully the muscle memory will just kick in. I've been writing April quite a few times recently, so there we go. So depending on whether I do the sound sync or whether I edit like just normally, if you edit just normally, I could include that whole thing sped up if I wanted to. If I do the sound sync, I may just include a tiny section of part of that writing. Usually it'll be somewhere near the start, like a big line of the A, for example, a nice smooth clip from the footage, so that it's nice to watch. Or I might include something like dotting the I or doing the line over the A so people can see the entire word. Just kind of depends which bit looks the best and which bit flows best in the video edit. Okay, next little part. So whilst we're here by the April, I'm going to do the bit that says week 5. Again, you might not be able to see the pencil, but don't worry about that. Hopefully you can see it all coming to life. I'm not sure how good the view of the page is currently because I have it quite twisted, but it's because I'm right-handed, so in order to keep my hand out of the camera, I have to have my book quite twisted. But yeah, this is more about you being able to see the process of the filming than it is necessarily the creation of the page. But I do have other lives saved on my channel that are just the normal creation of the weekly spread. So if you want to see that in a bit more detail and maybe a bit of a better angle for you to see, then maybe go and check those out. So week 5 is in, and the next thing I think I should draw is going to be the little raindrops. So again, rearranging my phone so it's a slightly different angle. The fact that it keeps changing angles means it's going to be more interesting to watch. Again, just checking my hand's not going to be right in front of the camera, and ready to do some raindrops. So I am still in my 0.1. Just because of this, the theme that I'm doing is a little bit more delicate. so I'm using my smaller fine liners for the most of these themes that I'm doing. And when I look back at the footage, sometimes my hand is in the way for some of them, so that's why I film doing all of them and then I just pick the best one. I have a feeling that this one here is going to be the best one, but we'll see. Next, let's move over. So once I've done a little bit in one area, I like to change it up and go somewhere else. So we're going to do my little duck over here. I don't know if any questions have come through, but if you're...
do you want me to read them?
Yeah, you can read them out.
Okay. So, a few people just saying hello.
Hello, hello.
Artist Lab says, I need this stand, lol. Jess says, where did you get the phone stand? I need one.
Yeah, so questions about the phone stand, it's from Amazon. After the live, I'll edit the description and I'll put in a link to it. If I can't find the exact one, because obviously it's Amazon, they change up all the time, then I'll put something in quite similar. Because I actually need to get another one after this whole palaver with sorting the live out. I need a decent overhead filming stand, really. Because this is a cheap version which I've had since I started my TikTok, which was in June last year. So actually this is the second one I had because the first one I had broke, but I was using it so much and like bending it in crazy directions, so I wouldn't necessarily say it was the stand, but obviously yeah, it's kind of a cheap version, so it's not amazing, but it definitely does the job, especially for TikTok. Okay, right, let's do the little umbrella too. But yeah, as I said, I'll link it at the end, hopefully, in the description. But if you just want to find one for yourself, I would search overhead phone holder or rubber neck phone holder, I think it's called, and get one that attaches to the desk. Also just be wary because some of them look like they're like a really tough clamp, and although that might help it hold a bit better, you don't want to then be marking your desk, so I was cautious to get one that wouldn't mark my desk too much, especially because I take pictures and stuff on the desk. I don't want loads of dents or something in it. But yeah, pretty much it. You can also get different colours. I chose white just because I prefer white, but obviously it's not usually on camera, so it doesn't matter. It's a bit grubby and bent around at the moment. Right, should we do this? So on this weekly spread, I'm having a little section for notes, just because recently I've had like quite a lot on my mind in terms of work and things I need to make sure I do. So I'm going to include a fairly big note section. Let's just get it here. So I think what I'm going to do for this is use a larger of the pens, maybe a 0.6, so it stands out. Oops. The only thing with this is because it's attached to the desk, if I'm ever colouring crazy, like it will jiggle, which is a little bit annoying, but when you're only including less than a second of video footage, it's not too bad. So recording again, wait for the shaking on the camera to stop, and then we can do our notes. So again, I'm going to film the entire writing of this because maybe I can make an extra TikTok out of it. But I will only include a tiny section of it in the actual TikTok. There's that bit. Okay, then we've got our little sleep tracker. So, also just a heads up for anyone who is kind of interested. On TikTok, you're only able to edit up to 35 clips. So I often have more than that. So again, I just choose which ones are the best. Sometimes some of them aren't very good, like my hand's just in the way or the camera's been a bit wobbly or whatever, so it's not too difficult to choose. But that's why I sometimes make double edits of the same video, because one, I enjoy like the editing part and choosing different music and stuff. But it's also really handy if I've had extra clips that I then want to include that shows it slightly differently. So making sure my hand's not going to be in the way, which it definitely is. Sometimes it's easier just to rotate the book than it is to move the camera, and I can also zoom in a little bit. So let's get the 8. So basically this is a tiny little graph that I'm including for my sleep tracking. So I have hours of sleep down the side. So that's why we're going 8, 7, 6, 5, and all the way down to 1. A little bit shaky, but never mind. Let me clip this a little bit better. Okay, and then we've got the days of the week along here, and it's just a simple bar graph. So on Monday, you go all the way up to, say you had 7 hours sleep, you go up to 7, all the way along, and you end up with a nice little bar graph. So, coming out, slightly different angle this time. But you'll notice most of the angles are off to the right, and that's just because I'm right, off to the left, like looking in. Because I'm right-handed, so if I were to film from this angle, it's going to be getting the back of my hand a lot, so that's why they're all at this side. But if you were left-handed, you'd probably need it the other way around. So let's press play. It's also really annoying. Sometimes I forget to press play. So yeah, that's not ideal when I've then drawn something that then can't be included. So if that happens, I just have to miss it out, unfortunately, but it does happen. Plenty. But that's why I sometimes just leave it running a little longer, just to include extra bits if I do then miss anything out. So now I'm going to use my ruler. I quite like having ruler lines in the TikToks, because once it's all edited, it's quite cool to have like zoom, 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 you know, like lots of different ruler lines. So yeah, I just like how that looks. So we're going to the smallest fine liner for this one, 0.05, sorry. And is my hand going to be in the way? I always just like to test. So I'm still zoomed in at this point, but I think it works quite well. You can also adjust the focus and stuff when it's already recording, which is useful, because sometimes I press record a bit like hastily and then realise actually it's not quite right. But okay, so little y-axis and stop and redo for the x-axis. Throwback to year 7 maths. Here we go. So I'm going to stick with this 0.05, and I've created it to look like a sticky note. So hopefully once it comes together, you'll be able to see. Let's do the patches of the tape first. So it doesn't need to be done with a ruler because it's meant to look kind of doodly. I'm just going to zoom back out to 0.1. And then there's always bits that I won't include on the camera. So for example, because I drew one lot of the washi tapes there, I didn't then need to record me drawing the second one because it's the same thing. Don't want to be too boring. Yeah, so let's do pressing play there. And let's finish off the outline. Again, wobbly is fine because it's just meant to look like a little scrap of paper. Oops, if my pen doesn't want to stop running out. There we go. So that is our little sleep bar graph. And now we need to move on. So let's do the puddle. So I'm going to go back to my 0.1. I've got a little puddle here below where it says April and week 5, just to sort of like highlight this is the title section. So I'm going to probably, film from this angle. So pressing record again. I'm just going to hold down this side a little bit to keep the paper down. Going to try and do it in one. Well, I could do it in one if my pen didn't want to start dying on me. Just so then I've got quite a lot to choose from. And also with the sound sync, you never know how long a section is going to be. So with that, the TikTok editor sort of divides up each clip into a certain length of time to match with the music, which is a really cool effect. But then sometimes, depending on what the music is doing, you might end up with a clip that's like 1.5 seconds and then another one 0.2, and you can't rearrange them. So yeah, it's just something to bear in mind. You don't want to always have tiny weeny little clips because it might not work. Right, I think we are getting there. We've just got a few more little chicks to do. I won't film all of them. So I've got one more here that I'm just going to draw quickly. So if you want to get a good view of this one, because I'm not going to film it. Just a little cute chick. I tried to dot them around kind of randomly so that, you know, you get a good balance of illustrations across the page. He can have a little wing there. Look at him. He's so cute. Except from his little foot went a bit weird, but we'll leave him with that. Okay, so I'm going to film this little chick, which is our last one, I believe, down in this corner. So I'm going to focus in on the camera, and I'm going to zoom in slightly because he is quite a little fella. Pressing record, waiting for it to stop jiggling. Because when it's zoomed in, you can just see the jiggle even more. Also, something to bear in mind is when the page is upright, it might be in focus, but when you press down, it sort of goes out of focus. So might just need to refocus when it's in place. There we go. Okay. In terms of the editing, it takes me about, well, it kind of depends what TikTok's doing, because recently it's been a bit rubbish. But it takes me probably about 20 minutes now, which is really good. It used to take me a lot longer than that, but now I'm just so quick at, like, I know exactly how I want it to look. So yeah, pretty happy with the sort of speed I've got it down to. Also, I would normally do this a lot quicker without me talking, so I can probably film a weekly spread type of TikTok in about 30-ish minutes now, whereas it it used to take me probably 2 hours. Okay, time to add in the grass along the bottom. So I'm not going to film this first section. So let me just do this here. So it's just random little bits of pointy lines, and I'll just go over those with a bit of green. Gosh, this pen is on its way out, which is sad. These fine liners are also just from Amazon. I just searched black fine liners, like different sizes or something like that, because I like to have a lot of different sizes to choose from, because I think it just adds to the whole dimension of the page. Like, for example, how thin this pen is versus this one. Yeah, you just get like more interesting to look at, basically. So what we're going to go to now, 0.05, and now it's time to divide up the sections that are going to be used for the actual weekly planning. Oh, I just remembered I didn't film any of the graphs. So like there, that's a perfect example of how it always goes. There's almost always something I miss out, but it doesn't really matter. I don't think people are going to care. So try and get my book in a decent straight on angle so that I can have like line without adjusting the video, basically. Let's also move the rubber out of the top of the page. So ruler time. So I just do a straight down one motion, and then I'll stop it and start the next clip. I've already got it marked out faintly in pencil, so I know where the lines need to be. There's that one. Then I'm going to move the page across and again just get it set ready to go and record these two lines. I don't always record all of the lines, kind of depends how many there are, but as I said, I quite like how it looks having quick ruler lines being drawn. Just seems like, because it's quite a quick motion, most of the other little drawings are a little bit slower, so this just adds a bit of spice to the video. And this line is going to go around our little chick. And those are the partitions for the days of the week. So now we need to rub out the pencil, because that is all the pencil type stuff done. So I tend to go a little bit further out for this, twist the book at an angle so you can see more of it. Also have to focus when I'm doing the rubbing out, because otherwise with your hand moving, the camera's trying to focus as your hand moves around. So you want to make sure it's focused. Press record. And a little bit of a trick, I don't actually try to rub out, I just kind of make the motion of rubbing out. And this is because, as I said, the phone holder is attached to the desk, so if I was actually rubbing out, as you can kind of see, this starts moving, so that wouldn't be a very good like clip. So now that it's stopped, I'll actually rub everything out. So this is all done off camera. Just make sure I've got most of the lines. Again, in the TikTok, you can't really see if I've missed a bit, so it's not the end of the world. And then once I've fully finished filming everything, I can make sure it's all rubbed out. But it's good to do all the rubbings out before you start adding the colour in. Not that the I use Crayola Super Tips, and you can rub out the pencil that's underneath them, but I just kind of prefer to do the colouring when I know it's kind of all finished and cleaned up, ready to go. So then use my sleeve, brush all the rubbings off. This is why I try my best to wear darker coloured jumpers where possible, because otherwise they get really grubby. So I'm just clearing out all the little rubbings, which is the most annoying part of this whole thing. I'm always having to hoover beneath my desk because there's so much little rubbings that fall down the back of it, but there we go. Right, are we sorted? Cool, good to go. Has there been any more questions or anything?
Jess says, I love Crayola Super Tips. I've got a new pack of 100.
Yes, that's what I've got. Ta-da!
Simon says, hello Meg.
Hello.
Someone else says hi. Then Jess says, I would love to see a video of how you set up for filming your plan with me.
Yeah, I think that would be a cool one to do. Like, yeah, just all the desk setup, all the equipment, everything I use, especially because I'm about to sort of upgrade some things, so I could sort of show you like the kind of starter kit that I've been using until now, and then the stuff that I'm kind of willing to spend a little bit more money on to kind of upgrade, and like why I'm upgrading. So that's a cool video idea. Right, we're time to add some colour, which is the best part. So I've already picked out most of the colours that I need. I think I forgot to get out the green, but I'll grab that in a minute. Right, first thing to colour in is going to be our puddle and the raindrops over here. So let's do raindrops first. And it always looks nice once the pencil's gone away, because although you can't really see it on camera, in person it just kind of makes all the lines look a little bit scruffy. So now it looks all crisp and clean. So again, like I said, it's Crayola Super Tips, and I like to keep all of the colours that I'm using separate for each monthly spread, sorry. So like for the whole of April, I've been using these two specific blue colours, and yeah, like a specific yellow. So filmed a couple of the raindrops, then I can just colour the rest in without it being on camera. So hopefully you can kind of see that the filming part doesn't actually interrupt the whole process very much. I literally film like 10 or 20 seconds of each sort of section, and then I can just carry on with the rest. So now it's time to do the little puddle. So I'm going to go from like a slightly lower angle. I try to like vary up the angles that I'm doing. So if it's moving around a little bit, it's just sort of more interesting to watch. So if I've done a lot that's sort of front on, I then try and go a bit more down to one side and stuff. So remember to press play, Meg. The number of times I do that is so annoying. Like, it's perfectly in position, I just don't press play, and then I've coloured it in, can't go back. So right, then can colour this in. So that'll probably be enough for the camera. And then I can move my phone out of the way so I can actually see. Sometimes it's kind of in the way, so I'm not quite able to see exactly where the edges are, or like I have to keep my hand at a certain position. That means it's kind of a little bit more difficult to colour in neatly and something like that. But that's why it's handy to just film the little first section, and then you can neaten it all up a little bit. One thing I love about the Crayola Super Tips is like when you've got a slightly bigger patch and you can rest on the edge of the thicker tip, and it just colours it in so much quicker. Cool, so that's that bit. Then we need to do, I think, let's go to our little chick here. So he's going to be in yellow. Well, he's not entirely in yellow. I like do the edges of it in yellow. Okay, so how is it camera-wise? Can you kind of see what's going on?
At times, yeah.
At times?
Yeah, it depends what position it's in.
Oh, right. Yeah, sorry if this isn't the best quality video, just because yeah, I've not really filmed myself produced video ever, but hopefully it just gives you a little behind the scenes of the whole process. So because this little chick is so small, I'm not actually going to film colouring in the little legs, so it's not recording currently, and I'm just going to fill it in. Just because it's such a tiny space, it wouldn't really be worth filming. So that's that, but I will film the little raindrops that he's shaking off. Here we go, focus in again, press play. So it's the same colour as I've always used for the water stuff. There we go. Okay. Then we're going to do the, so this time I'm going for a more overhead type of shot. Cool. Yellow for these. I think a major thing for making all of your weekly spreads look like they belong together, even though I change up the layout every time, is to make sure I'm using the same colours for each section. So for example, on all of these little steep trackers, I've used the same colour to fill it in, and I've used the same colour for the little washi tapes. I'm making sure that I always include mother duck and a couple of ducklings. So yeah, so it all sort of ties together. Right, let's go on to her umbrella. But yeah, as I said, as soon as this live is over, I will edit this and try and post it somehow. Because it's not actually time for me to post it on TikTok yet, because I've still got some other videos in my drafts of the other weekly spreads, just because I wanted to get my May theme idea videos out in time. So yeah, I've kind of had to pause my weekly spread, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do exactly, but I guess I could just post it on YouTube just for the sake of being able to attach it to the end of this video, just so that you can see the finished product. But if you want to see any of my other TikToks and like how they look, then just check out my actual TikTok, or I'm posting them all as shorts as well, so you'd be able to see that. Let's do the mother duck's little boots. So sometimes if it doesn't quite focus, you have to like zoom out a little bit. There we go. I've done enough of the ducks recently, so I'm not actually going to film colouring her in. So I'll move that out of the way. Colouring the beak. The beak didn't go so well today, but I think it was because it was like the first thing that I drew, and I was like stressed out by the fact that I couldn't get the setup to work properly. There's that. It's all just like scribbly yellow lines to make her look a little bit fluffy. And then the little bits on her legs are also this sort of orangey red colour. Right. Next part I'm going to do is some lines here for the notes section. This is something I will probably just film the entire thing of, and then I can edit accordingly to how much I want included. So as long as it's in focus on the right section. So focus in there. So whenever I do this, I do alternate lines. So I rest on the wider part of the super tips and do alternate lines. I'm getting them as straight as possible, but like it doesn't really matter. It's just so it looks quite nice and colourful basically. And then I can just do whatever notes I've got over the top of these. And I'm also deliberately using the yellow so that it's a nice light colour for me to write on top of. So that is that. I think it looks so pretty. Yeah, it's cute. Right, let's do another little chick. This one, and then it will be the grass, then the titles up here, and then we're done. So we are nearly there. I'm sure JT will be happy that he doesn't have to film anymore. Right then. Okay, little chick time. I'm also going to have my May setup video out next week, which is going to be a really cool theme. So stay tuned for that one. I've also got my May theme ideas if you need any ideas for your own bullet journals. I've got four different ideas and they're all really cute. So go and check that one out. That one's already up on my channel as well. Right, then the camera can move and we can do our little chick down here. And his little red feet. There we go. Right, now a bit of grass. So I'm going to have to get my super tips because oh, which green was it? This is the only thing with the super tips. Like, they could do with being numbered or something. Or, yeah, being given names so that you know exactly which shade of green you use. That's why I tried to keep them separate, but I tidied up all the colours the other day, so I obviously put the green one in by mistake. Right, time for a little bit of grass. So, I'll just zoom it into a random patch and then leave the camera rolling. So I just use the green to go over the line, just to give a little like hint of green at the bottom. Just because otherwise the only colours that I'm using are yellow and blue, so I thought having like a hint of something else would be nice. Okay, there we go. Then I can finish the rest without the camera in the way. There we go. Right, nearly done. So you might have noticed that there are only 6 sections and 7 days of the week, but that's because like the weekends I don't actually plan that much, so having a joint section for the weekend is actually perfectly fine for me. So just looking at the spread and seeing which colours I've not used, the blue has been used the least on this one. It kind of varies each week depending on what design I've gone for, but so I'm going to use this blue as the line for the title. Hopefully you'll see what I mean. But so I'll probably film 2 of these. So I'm going to go down 1 and then do a couple of the others, and then can film the other one over here probably. Also, if you've been chatting in the live chat, then before you go, it'd be great if you could just leave a comment on the actual video, just because that helps like boost the video, and drop a like and stuff. That'd be really cool. And then it's time to write the days on. So I'm just going to write 3 letters. So for Monday I'll just put MON, Tuesday will be TUE, that sort of thing. And then I'm going to use the same pen as I used to write notes, because I think that looks cute. Is my hand going to be in the way if I do it there? Yes. So let's twist here if possible. Am I in the way there? No. So we can zoom in a bit. Cool. Right, so let's write Monday. Okay. And then I'll carry on with the others whilst it's not recording. And then for the weekend, I just put end, because I know what that means, and then it means it's 3 letters as well. And that is it. That is the weekly spread complete. So you just stand up, because the very last clip that I always do is out of the phone holder. I put my book straight, and I do a clip that's like, you know, filmed like that, so people get a full view of the completed pages basically. So just film there, over to there. And then I often will crop that into 2 videos separately, and then so it like jolts like page 1 to page 2, just to keep in with the whole jolty, changing angles and all that kind of stuff. And that is it. My phone is quite warm because it's been working hard. I'm sure George is as well. But hopefully that gave you a cool little insight. Before we go, I'll just take this off the desk so you can see how it looks. So it's a stand like this. This is the part that clips onto the desk. This whole section is bendy but quite like stiff, so like you have to put quite a lot of force onto it to move it around. And this goes up and down so you can widen it. It's got a little, I don't know what you would call it, like a soft bit so it doesn't mark your desk, which was something I was like specifically trying to find. And it's also got little softy bits where your phone would go in, just again so it's not too hard on your phone. It's like a pinch clip. You can move this bit around. So yeah, it's a pretty decent one. I would definitely recommend it. It's been very, very useful for me. It's taken my account from 0 to 106,000, which is pretty cool. And yes, it's been the reason I've had a few viral videos, which is pretty cool. But if you've enjoyed this video, like I said, go and check out some of my other ones. Maybe like, subscribe, do all that kind of stuff. And leave any comments down below and I'll get back to you. Thanks everyone. See you soon. Bye.